Welcome back, everybody. Jaysin Static with another episode of the interview series. I am Jaysin Static. You, sir, are
Quest Parker.
Quest Parker. How long have you been in the wrestling business?
I've been training for a year and 6 months now, but I've been wrestling for the last 10 months straight, consecutive.
Okay, so roughly about 2 years, give or take or so. I know you've seen a handful of these interviews. We've talked about doing one of these interviews before.
Yes, sir.
Finally, we're able to get into this and start talking about it.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for your first question?
I'm excited.
All right. If you weren't aspiring to be a wrestler, professional wrestler, what is it that would be your go-to thing?
My go-to thing would possibly be construction because I'm already certified in construction
Okay.
at trade schools. And I also like IT, and I want to learn more about computers. And
Right.
I'm actually taking this IT class very soon.
Okay.
So I would say something like that because I like to get my hands dirty a little bit.
Yeah. What type of construction do you do?
It was mostly just like outside labor. Like we were building houses on the inside, and then I did a little bit of irrigation, and then just a lot of landscaping and stuff like that.
You know, funny that you say that you'd want to go into that realm of construction. In my early 20s, I worked on a flooring crew that did new construction.
Yeah.
You know, when I lived up in St. Louis in my early 20s. And I was on a flooring crew. We did flooring in a lot of the apartment buildings that went up over on the west side on West County. We did a lot of those. Even went up into North County and did a bunch of houses and stuff like that. And I think it's funny that you say that. And now me these days me doing, I wouldn't say I do IT stuff, but like doing video production and editing and stuff like that. Doing computer stuff today. So that's kind of interesting. You're in this new school era. I've been around for quite a long time. You're in the new game. Now, I'm going to ask you a separate question that ties into this one.
All right.
Now that you're aspiring to be a professional wrestler, what is that drive? What's driving you to do that? Why does Quest Parker want to be a pro wrestler?
Honestly, I feel like it's the energy. Like it's the everyday grind.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I can put my heart out and be able to actually express myself every time when I'm in a wrestling ring. It's the only time that I actually feel like I'm alive. Like
Right.
I'm actually doing something that I'm putting the effort towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been doing this, like you said, for almost 2 years now. And for me, it's been every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I train, and then the rest of the week I'm trying to wrestle. So it's expression for me. It's a way that I get to pour my heart out, and I don't get to do that a lot. You know,
Right.
I'm kind of closed off in other ways, but whenever I'm in the ring or whenever I'm outside, you've seen it.
Absolutely.
Seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm very out there.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I'm able to put my energy out.
You know, it's something about wrestling. And I always tell people that aren't wrestling fans, I'm one of those guys. I try to get people who aren't wrestling fans to be fans of wrestling.
Yes, sir.
And I think the more knowledge that you try to gain about the industry of professional wrestling, and the more knowledge that you can give to other people who aren't, say, your typical pro wrestling fan, maybe they're a casual fan, or maybe they don't like wrestling at all. The more knowledge that you can obtain and feed to these people about the artistry of professional wrestling, as you said, you feel more free, that adrenaline boost that you get, the atmosphere of when you go to certain towns, like here tonight, we're at PWE in Alton, so like being able to wrestle in your hometown, having your friends and family around, and then even going out to other shows and stuff like that. I use it as the example of there's no other drug like professional wrestling. I don't know if you've ever done anything like that, and you don't have to say if you've done anything like that, but like if you are one of those people who's done drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, it's almost on that level of a high that you get, because it's a pure, boost of adrenaline and dopamine to your system. As soon as that music hits and you feel that crowd rumble a little bit, or even when you're in the ring and you feel that crowd rumbling and stuff, something just happens in your gut. You know what I mean? I think that's what you're meaning by you feel more free. And it's that dopamine hit that you get. And I promise you, man, there's never going to be anything that you do that's like that.
Man.
You might do a lot of stuff in your life, but nothing's going to be like pro wrestling, man.
100% agree.
All right, man. I appreciate that first question, man. Thank you.
Of course.
Quest Parker.
Yes, sir.
The Revolutionary. Are you ready for your second question?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a preference, being a new guy in the game, do you have a preference for customized music or music from a specific band that resonates with your gimmick?
I would like to get custom music.
Yeah.
But right now I prefer either Nothing But a Good Time by Poison.
Yeah.
For me, it's because that's one of the first songs that I actually liked by that group, and my dad showed that to me, and my dad passed away like a couple years before I got wrestling, so it's something I can kind of bring into it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's a song called Revolution by Pennywise.
Yeah.
It was on WWE 2K13 back in the day, but me and my brother, we wanted to go by a Revolution, so it made perfect sense. The song's great.
Now, if you, those two songs are perfect, and I think it fits you because you do it when you're in there working, you do look like you're having a good time in there working. So the having it resonate with you on a personal level because it's something that your dad showed you, and then having it in your character of when you're in the ring, you're having a good time while you're in there, and it shows. So I can see why that resonates with you. But on the flip side, if you was to have custom music, and I always tell people anytime anybody gets this question is, what's a good thing about custom music is because while you do have songs that resonate with you on a personal level, if you have a song that it's customized to you, specifically to you, or a tag team of sorts, you can make money off of that.
Right.
You can sell it on merch tables. You can sell it as iTunes downloads and stuff like that. You can get spins on Spotify, and all these other GarageBand, Bandcamp, and all of these other places that have. So that, and then you can take those elements from Pennywise, Nothing But a Good Time, and mold them into one thing and have something that's uniquely customizable to you. 100%. And you can even, if you get the right person to do it for you, you can even get on the track and have, ad libs in the track where, say the revolution is now, whatever. The revolution is now. Dun, 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 dun. So you can get something super unique to you, and then you bring it, you tie in those elements of your dad, Poison, Pennywise, and all these other things, and then you make it uniquely to you.
Right.
Now, if you had to do something like that, what would you do?
Like
if you had, if you had somebody who would do a custom music track for you, do you have an idea of what that would sound like?
Honestly, I'd say it'd probably be like a little bit like have that 90s rock feel, and then a little bit of like, I'd say kind of 2010 punk rock, if you know what I mean.
Okay. And what's it with the 90s rock and the 2000s punk? Why does that resonate with you more?
With 90s rock, I really just feel like it's something that I really latched onto when I was younger, and I always I wanted to find out more about it. Like almost with wrestling, how I dig into wrestling and always want to find out more.
Right.
I got to a point where I was trying to find new songs and find a new band and figure out what songs this band has. And so I'm just really fascinated by that time because I'm not from that time.
Right.
Like I'm born 2005.
Yeah.
But with 2010 and 2000s rock in general, it's kind of a little bit more emo, kind of more punk rock, and I'm that way. Just like I am always having a good time, but there's always that.
Right. Yeah.
There's always that in between,
Oh yeah.
I just like that because it's that edginess.
Right. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s, and I was in my 20s in the early 2000s. And there was just a different vibe back then. It was an edgier vibe for everything across society. Everything was edgy back then, whether it was music, movies, you know, anything. Hell, even cartoons and video games and stuff like that. It was just a wild time to be in. And it makes sense that you weren't from that time, but you feel like you were because that you vibe with that. Like I'm the same way. Like I grew up in the 80s, but like for some reason, I don't know why, but like I love like old school rockabilly, like 1940s, 1950s rockabilly style music. I just love that style of music. And like I said, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but I love that style of music more than anything. Like I also like hip hop, but like I resonate with that rockabilly music a lot more.
Right.
You know, but man, I appreciate you coming on. You got anything to promote? Websites, merch sites, anything like that? Yeah. Upcoming shows?
Actually, October 12th is my next show. After this Sunday, I have a 6-man challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship, October 6th at the Franklin Lodge. But next week after that, I'll be at MMWA South Broadway Athletics Club, October 12th. So come check me out at either one. I'd be happy to see you there.
Any websites, merch, anything like that you got?
I don't have any websites up right now, but I got merch coming soon, so stay tuned.
Cool. What about social medias, YouTubes, anything like that?
You can follow me on social media at Quest Parker PW or QP.HBK.
And we'll make sure we get all that down in the description below and everything like that. Quest, man, I appreciate you. We're going to run this out just like we always do. Sure. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Jaysin Static across all social media. Facebook, YouTube, Fight Club Wrestling Academy. Check me out. And something new that happened. I announced it on my Facebook the other day, but this is the first time I'm going to do it for the YouTube. I don't have the website right now. I shut down the website. I'm redoing it. I'm thinking about something new, and I'm going to go in a whole different direction. So if you guys want if you guys want merch from me, Jaysin Static merch, 138 streetwear, anything like that, shoot me a DM on any of the social media. Quest, I appreciate you coming on, man. Sir. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.